On the reforms themselves, of course, you've got the National Development Strategy of 2017-2021 with the 5 pillars, one of which is the social sphere, which looks at education reform. And in that, you've got the 5-year programme to reform the preschool education. You've also got the revision of the school system to revise and expand the curriculum for grades 10 to 11. And you've also got the 5-year programme of radical improvement to university education, all of which I think are absolutely crucial to the reforms. Education has to be a cornerstone of the reform movement. Unless you have a well-educated population, you're not going to benefit from what a majority of the reforms will hope to deliver. And I think particularly as you've got this population bubble moving through society in the near future, you want a good, well-educated population who are doing and delivering on high-value jobs. And that way, you can certainly, I think, be looking to achieve the aspiration of moving to a middle-income country. So I think these are very important reforms, and I think it's one that we're very pleased to be able to be a part of as well. I think that education is one of the UK's real strengths. We have an excellent offer in terms of overseas education and an excellent track record. I remember, for example, when I was in China in the early 2000s, some British schools were just opening up there, and they were beginning to take not just international students, but also Chinese ones. And if you go to Beijing today, or anywhere in China, you will find all these UK schools are thriving and providing a first-class education. And I really hope that's something that can be replicated here in Uzbekistan. On the activities themselves, last autumn we brought a trade mission across from the UK for the education sector. There were about 15 education companies and institutions. And by the way, they had a really excellent welcome from the ministries here. We got great access to the ministers, and it was a real important part of the success. And in fact, a number of these institutions and companies came back for UPTIC, which is the Uzbekistan-Britain Industry and Trade Council, which took place in February, March this year. And they were signing MOUs and contracts with both ministries and also private companies here in Uzbekistan. So that's evidence of good collaboration and success from our parts. And then, of course, we've got the British Council here, who I think are known throughout the world. They've got a very strong brand. They deliver excellent English language training. And I know that they're working closely with the Ministry of Public Education here on education policy. And even this year, they took a delegation led by Minister Shamatov to the World Education Forum in London, where he got to meet the Minister for Schools, Nick Gibb, amongst other high senior level interlocutors. And he was able to get a good insight into how the UK education system functioned. And I think that's set the basis for good long-term collaboration between Uzbekistan and UK in the education sphere. As well as that, the British Council are also working with the Ministry of Public Education on setting up a steering group. And this will be to identify key areas for English language reform and development. And one of these tasks will be to take a holistic view of English language training at primary and secondary schools and look at gathering baseline data in order to understand the needs and wants going forward. In terms of what we're planning to do in the future, let me just say, first of all, that we're very pleased to see a number of British and British-related education entities coming into the market here, such as Cambridge International School in Tashkent, Westminster International School, and also opening in this academic year, in addition to organisations like British Education, Macmillan, Westminster University, that are all operating successfully here. So we're expanding and developing our role in the education sector, which is really good news, I think, on both sides. Also this month, the British Council, again with the Ministry of Public Education, are launching the Future English Project. This is a really interesting and exciting project. It's aimed to help school graduates improve their English and to respond to the needs of local and global markets and find new digital solutions for the young generation to learn English and succeed in their careers. So it really does establish a platform for the younger generation going forward to go out into the world. Part of this project will include a comprehensive research by UK institutions and agencies, analysing the overall public education needs, and in particular the English language levels here in Uzbekistan. What they're hoping to do, or certainly aiming to do, is to create a platform to support teacher development and create communities of practice. And they're going to be called Virtual Teacher Activity Groups, or VTAG for short. And these platforms aim to connect the different elements of what British Council are doing here under their digital offer, such as teaching English and teaching for success, as well as the Future Learn. And we're also hoping that more and more UK companies will also start coming into the market, along with the growing number of UK education institutions that are already here. So we think the future is very bright.